It is criminal what they want to charge you at a restaurant, and you know it's mediocre. We're making chicken marsala, which is so much easier than you think it is to make. It requires a few ingredients, but if you're using the right ones and you just take a couple of extra steps of making sure each step is done properly, you'll have better than a restaurant chicken marsala at a fraction of the cost. How dare they try to charge me $48 a plate for mediocre chicken? How dare they? This will cost you way less than that for 4 people, way less than that for 4 people. And it's outrageous and it's delicious every single solid time. Does not require a lot, mind you, which we love. We're gonna start off with, of course, you've got a lot of cremini mushrooms that I've sliced. Gotta use cremini mushrooms because they've got depth, they've got richness, they've got nuttiness, they've got sort of that meatiness to them, they've got actual flavor. Again, you don't use a ton of ingredients, but you wanna make sure you're using good ones. For chicken, you're gonna use chicken breast, which I know. I'm not like a huge chicken breast person, like really love it in a chicken cutlet, but sometimes for a quick cooking dish, it comes in handy. This works really well. You're gonna keep it succulent, you're gonna keep it delicious. You want to make sure it's not too thin. Now each one of these weighs 5 ounces, okay? Actually a little bit more than that, about 5.5. And look at the size of them, they're gorgeous. What I want you to do is I want you to buy those whole big chicken breasts, okay? And then I want you to cut them in half because each one of them should give you about 5.5 ounces each. And just discard any piece that's not like, even, because you want to make sure that all of your chicken breasts are nice and even. You've got that. Now what I'm gonna do is gently heat up in my large skillet butter and a little bit of olive oil. Butter for flavor, olive oil for flavor, and also the olive oil keeps the butter from burning. What do we always do to make sure our food tastes really good is we season every single layer of it, every step of the way. So we've got our chicken breast here, and to the chicken breast, we're gonna add from high up, we're gonna add a little pinch of salt and a little bit of pep. I'm gonna flip these over and I will do the same thing to the other side. Also seasoning my flour with salt and pepper. And you want to do light layers because you don't want to be overpowering and be too heavy on the seasoning, but light layers all the way through is the money maker. I'm going to push it to the side and just stack my floured chicken on top of each other. It's fine. And I'll leave these here for a few minutes while that oil and the butter preheats. And this also gives the chicken a little bit of time, just a few minutes for that flour to really adhere so that it doesn't burn in your pan, because once you burn flour, it's so bitter, you can't really get rid of it unless you literally get rid of it all and then rewash the pan. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be in a bad mood. I'm not in the mood to do that. So just take a minute. I'm actually going to put the chicken on here, letting it sit for a minute or so, and will make a huge, huge difference. That's it. Look how gorgeous that is, right? Set that aside for just a minute. The butter and the oil are looking good. I'm just gonna let them go for like 30 more seconds. I'm gonna dice up some shallots, but in the meantime, my butter and oil is perfect. You see how it's lightly golden brown? That's because the butter has browned them a bit. So now you've got good flavor, and you're gonna be able to immediately smell that nuttiness. I'm gonna live dangerously and do all 4 at one time. Should have used a bigger pan, but you know what? Is it gonna be delicious at the end? Yes, this is perfect. I'm gonna let this sear for about 2 minutes or so on each side. Do not overcook it. You're gonna finish cooking it in the pan. It's not a thick piece of meat, so it's not gonna take a ton of time. So I just wanna give it a couple of minutes to sear on both sides. In the meantime, while that's happening, I'm just gonna dice up some shallots and garlic and get those ready to go into the pan once the chicken comes out. Look at how gorgeous those are. They only took like 2 minutes per side, okay? And it already smells gorgeous and delicious and nutty. So you're gonna get great flavor right from the very beginning. And you know, the local place charging you $48 each a plate is not doing that. In that same pool of deliciousness, because you still have some butter and oil there, you're gonna add in your Cremini mushrooms, okay? And I'm also going to give them a little pinch of salt. Don't worry about drawing out moisture. It's gonna happen whether you do it now or towards the end. It doesn't matter, it's gonna draw out moisture anyway, but this way it's properly seasoned. You're gonna cook these mushrooms for about, I'd say, 5 to 7 minutes or so, maybe a little bit more. You just want them to cook down, develop some color, but also don't take them too far because you kind of want them to be kind of silky in your mouth. If you take them too far and you kind of take them to the brink of like crisp edges, you lose that like silky mouthfeel of when you're eating a chicken marsala. You get what I'm trying to say? There's a difference between searing mushrooms to make them as a side dish, and in here I want to take them close enough to develop color and flavor, but not so close that they lose that texture. So I'm just going to keep an eye on them, and I'll tell you exactly how long these took to cook. Mushrooms took exactly 7 minutes and they look gorgeous. You see how there's like, they've got obviously color mainly on one side, because what happens is as they cook, as that water evaporates out of them, they'll shrink and then they'll have more contact with the surface of the pan, and then they'll get crispy, and then they'll get brown, and they'll get delicious. Adding in my shallots. Remember, shallots are a lot softer than onions, so they don't take quite as long to cook and soften, probably just a couple of minutes. So just keep your eye on them. You can also absolutely use an onion if you want to. I just tend to think that shallots are a little more gentle of an allium, so you don't lose that really good, rich, mushroom flavor. It's just so good. It's so good. Now, the marsala you're going to choose is very important. When you go to your liquor store, they're going to have options. The two options are going to be a sweet marsala and a dry marsala. You want to pick a dry marsala for savory cooking, such as deglazing a pan, chicken marsala, adding it to a different dish, because that way it's not going to be sweet, really like pungent in sweetness. Dry is going to be perfect for savory cooking. Sweet, you're going to put it in when you make your tiramisu or your zabaione, or to drink as an after dinner little aperitif or something. But you wouldn't want to cook with it because sweet is really, really sweet. Also, never use something that's labeled cooking wine, because that's just never going to be a great option for you. And your final dish is always going to taste as good as the ingredients you're using. So make sure you buy something that's affordable enough that you feel comfortable purchasing, but also that tastes good enough for you to want to sip on its own, because when you cook with it, it just fortifies that flavor, it deepens that flavor. So if you don't really like the taste of it when you're drinking it, you're not going to like the taste of it when you're cooking. Shallots are pretty much there. Adding in my garlic, I'm just going to let that cook for about 30 more seconds. Go in with your marsala, which you need a good half a cup or so, 2/3 of a cup. Let that reduce a little, just let that bubble and start to reduce a little, and immediately you can smell it. It's sweet, it's sort of pungent, nutty, it just smells phenomenal. It's so delicious, and you can add that marsala to other things you're cooking. Instead of like using a splash of white wine or something, you could use a splash of that and it really intensifies the flavor of that dish. It's fantastic. Also great with beef. You can see this has reduced a lot. We're gonna go in with your beef stock. You can do chicken, but I think beef stock is the key to a really rich and gorgeous chicken marsala. If you don't want to use beef stock, by all means use chicken, but I'm telling you, there is a difference. And once you taste it, you'll understand why I always do beef, because it makes it so much richer, so much more delicious. Now this is going to come up to a boil, and it doesn't need to cook that long. It only needs to cook for 5 to 7 minutes, but this is the time we add the chicken back in, because remember, the chicken is not fully cooked through. We need to finish cooking it all the way. So I'm going to add it back in. I'm actually going to add on that side. Adding it back in, making sure it makes good contact with that brothy goodness. Any juices collected in the plate also go right in. And now all you're gonna do is bring that up to a bubble and let it simmer. Once it really comes up to a boil, let it simmer for like 7 minutes or so, and then you're done. And all I'm gonna do in that time is chop up lots of fresh parsley, and we are gonna be done. Told you it's easy. Look at how gorgeous. Look at how much it's reduced and thickened. Last step, just take a pat of butter, about a tablespoon or so. That's just going to give your sauce a really lovely, glossy finish. Let that melt in, bubble for just like 1 more minute. That only took like not even 8 minutes, by the way. And it's important because you don't want to overcook your chicken. You're using chicken breast. You're not using like a chicken thigh that can take on being overcooked, because it's essentially just never going to be wrong, because it's always going to be delicious and succulent and yummy, yummy, yummy. Chicken breast is not like that. So you just want to time it just right. And like I said, it doesn't take long. It just takes the right steps. You want to brown that chicken, brown that, mushrooms, give it some time to kind of develop all of that gorgeousness. Turning it off, some parsley on top, and that right there is what your sauce should be. It's thick, it's glossy, it's gorgeous. You see that? And as you serve this, your mushrooms are gonna have really great flavor. Like, look at those mushrooms. You can eat them on their own and they would be fantastic. But this, it's making my mouth salivate, okay? That is gonna be what I'm having for dinner. And I am absolutely thrilled. I'm gonna go with this piece right here closest to me. Look at that, just tender and gorgeous. I'm using literally a butter knife. I'm not even using a sharp knife. Some of that sauce, a mushroom. Hot, but it's never stopped me before. That is just absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal, worthy of being on your dinner table tonight. Serve it to friends this weekend. I don't care, you do you. All I know is you will not get this at a local restaurant where they're gonna upcharge you an arm and a leg. Check the description down below for recipe, links, yada, 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 and I will see you in the next one.